Hello to all my beautiful viewers out there. Today, I'm going to make a video about something a little bit different. More focused around my personal opinions and less about upcoming sneaker releases, and basically it's going to be more centered and focused around how I feel about a lot of the releases that have happened in 2019. And what I'm going to be talking about primarily in this video is how I think that in 2019 the Air Jordan 1 Low releases were kind of a missed opportunity for Jordan Brand. Now, it's hard for me to make that claim. It's hard for me to say that in 2019 the Air Jordan 1 Lows, in my opinion, were a missed opportunity, because if I had the sales numbers in front of me, if I was able to call up Jordan Brand, call up Nike and say, hey, what were the sales figures? How did it go for the Air Jordan 1 Lows in 2019? Did it do well? How did it do compared to previous years? Etc, etc, etc. It's hard to do it without the numerical data, right? So what I'm going to be doing in this video is more so talk about how I feel it went in the sneaker community, how personally I felt it landed with me, how I feel about the Air Jordan 1 Low, and what my issues are and why I think it's kind of a missed opportunity for Jordan Brand with their Air Jordan 1 Low releases this year. And honestly, a lot of people have totally forgotten that we've gotten a lot of Air Jordan 1 Low releases in 2019. But once you look at the amount, I've been using GOAT to do that. I've just been putting Jordan 1 Low in and just seeing what we've gotten in 2019. And there's a lot. We got a lot of Jordan 1 Lows in 2019. And you're probably wondering about why. Why do I think the Air Jordan 1 Low was a missed opportunity for Jordan Brand in 2019? Well, if you know me, if you've been watching the channel for a while, when it comes to specifically Jordans and Jordan Retros, I'm a big fan of having OG branding. I want the shoe to be branded and to look as much as it can as close to the originals that released back in 1985 and 1986. Now, I'm not opposed to wacky and new colorways of Jordan 1 highs or lows. I'm totally fine with that. In fact, I wish Jordan Brand would actually do more wacky colorways of the Air Jordan 1 high OGs, of the Jordan 1 low OGs, but that doesn't seem to be the case, although it could change in 2020. But as I mentioned, what I really feel like it has to be true to is the branding. The branding can't be different. And you're probably, if you're not fully in the inner circle of what OG branding is when it comes to Jordans in general, not even just the Jordan 1s. I was about to say the Jordan 1s, but no, many other Jordans do come in OG branding as well. What OG branding is it just means that how it was branded with either Nike swooshes, Jumpmen, Nike Airs, things like that. When they used that branding back when the sneakers first came out, what an OG branded sneaker means is that this upcoming retro of the sneaker from way back in the day has the same branding as it did when the original models released back in the day. If that kind of explains that. I know I'm so bad at explaining things, but I hope that kind of clears it up. And I remember doing a video this year, actually, a sneaker jargon video about what an OG sneaker is and what defines an OG sneaker. And in my case, I'm very much for OG branding. Even if the colorways aren't OG, I'm always for OG branding. If it's OG branding, it sits a lot better with me than if it wasn't OG branding. Now, why do I think the Air Jordan 1 Low was a missed opportunity for Jordan Brand in 2019? It's because we didn't get a single Air Jordan 1 OG Low retro in this year, from what I can find, from what I can see on GOAT, from what I know. I may be incorrect in saying this, but from what I can find, I can't seem to find an Air Jordan 1 Low OG release in 2019. And I feel like a lot of the releases in 2019, a lot of the Low 1 releases, if they were OG branded, I feel like they could have hit it off way better with the Jordan collecting community, the sneakerwear community in general. I think it could have just built up, not necessarily hype. I don't think hype should be a deciding factor on if a release has been done well or not. But I think it just would have been a lot better and would have looked a lot nicer if a lot of these releases had, you know, OG branding. I know that I'm probably spouting a lot of stuff and you probably haven't seen any evidence to like believe that or anything like that. So what we'll do is we'll hop over to GOAT. We'll go over to GOAT and we'll use its search engine to try and justify and for me to try and showcase to you guys what I mean and why I feel this way and why I think it is a missed opportunity for Jordan Brand when it comes to the Air Jordan 1 lows. So we'll pop over to GOAT and we'll have a look. So let's go do that now and I will talk about why I think the Air Jordan 1 low was a missed opportunity in 2019 for Jordan Brand. And here we are on the GOAT page, and what I have done is I've sorted by upcoming. So the most like recent or soon to be released Air Jordan 1 lows get placed here, and the oldest ones get placed here in this timeline here essentially. Now obviously, as you may notice, just so we don't get confused or anything like that, there is what looks like an Air Jordan 1 low OG release coming soon. What's the problem though? It's releasing on January 2nd in 2020, so it's not releasing in 2019. So what am I trying to say and what am I trying to showcase to you guys in this video? So 2019 got a bunch of Air Jordan 1 releases, especially Air Jordan 1 low releases. If I scroll all the way down, I've made a little note here about what I can find is the first Air Jordan 1 low release, and it looks like to be this pair here, the Air Jordan 1 Retro Low Top 3. Now notice it doesn't have OG in the title. Why doesn't it have OG in the title? Because this sneaker does not have OG branding. Its branding, its wings logo has been placed down the bottom here. Essentially, I'll try and compare it with this actual OG pair that I have here. The branding, instead of being at the top of the back of the sneaker, has now been pushed down here. So instead of like the Air Forces, how the Nike Air is at the top of the back here, it's been placed down here on non-OG pairs. And non-OG pairs also with the branding, instead of having Nike Air on the tongue, they have a Jumpman, which, if you know me, if you've been watching my Air Jordan 1 or just Air Jordan videos in general, you know how I feel about unnecessary Jumpman when we don't need the Jumpman. So, by the looks of it, this was the first Air Jordan 1 low release of 2019, from what I can find. I may be incorrect, there may be some ones that just aren't here and don't have a listing page, but this looks like the earliest one that I can find. Now, all of the sneakers pushing up from here were all releases in 2019. All of them. Now, let's put in Air Jordan 1 Low OG and find the last release of an OG Jordan 1 Low. Wow, look at that. It happens to be my pair that I've got here. And guess when I bought this? Guess when this was released? 2017. We haven't seen a OG Jordan 1 Low in 2 years. 3 if you include this one here, because this one is going to be the first Air Jordan 1 Low OG release in about 3 years. That's crazy. That's absolutely wild to me. Now, why is this a big deal for me? Well, because as I mentioned before, I think a lot of these releases that happened in 2019, more specifically the Shattered Backboard lows, the Court Purple lows, the Royal Toe lows, moving further down, the Black Toe lows. If all of these were done in OG branding, so, you know, branding that was up in the heel here, no Jumpman on the tongue, I feel like these releases could have been a lot better and hit home with a lot more people than what we got, than these non-OG releases. Now, you can argue some of the low SB releases almost technically have OG branding because they have, you know, the Wings logo at the top of the heel. They have Nike, not necessarily Air, but they have Nike SB on the tongue. But I'm gonna not include them because it's close to OG branding. I very much would prefer picking up a low SB over a low non-OG. but it doesn't really count because it still has the Nike SB on the tongue and not the Nike Air that it did back in 1980. I think 1986 was the first release of the Air Jordan 1 lows. I think, don't quote me on that. I can't seem to find any 1985 releases of any Air Jordan 1 lows. But basically what I'm trying to get, I always struggle to do this in my videos, but what I'm trying to get across is the Air Jordan 1 low releases of 2019 weren't horrible. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm trying to convey in this video. What I'm trying to convey is that it was a missed opportunity by Jordan Brand to decide to not release a lot of these releases in an OG branding format. And what kind of like annoys me a little bit is they even did OG colorways like the black toes here and released them in a non-OG branding. I mean, again, the reason they could be doing this is because of the information that I don't have on me, is the numerical data. The Air Jordan 1 low OGs from 2017, these guys here, the tanned ones, oh my god, if I can even find them. There we go. Yep, those, they're sitting at under retail at the moment. Maybe because they're 2 years old, maybe because the colorway isn't that appealing to some people, but they are sitting under retail. And I do remember buying these off Eastbay back in 2017 for under retail. They were like, I think I paid 90 USD, I want to say, for them back in 2017. But maybe that's the reason. Maybe Jordan Brand decided to do all these releases because of the numerical data that showed that these guys here are not selling too well. But then in 2018, when they did these Air Jordan 1 low releases, they sold really well. They released them in like large quantities, and they sold really well. And maybe that's why in 2019, Jordan Brand decided, instead of doing what they did in 2017, where they did an Air Jordan 1 low OG, they decided to switch it up and decide to release their Air Jordan 1 lows in a non-OG branding. And that could be the issue. That could be the point. The point is that the lows that aren't OG are selling a lot better than the lows that are OG. And I honestly don't know. As I said, we have a lack of numerical data to see if that's the case or not. But if that is the case, I think that's an unfair decision made by Jordan Brand, because I think if they did, as I said, these OG colorways like the black toes in an OG format, I think they would have sold a lot better and a lot of people would have been scrambling to pick them up. Same with the shadow backboards here, and same with the royal toes. If they released in OG branding in 2019, I think they would have been a hit. I think they would have been one or some of people's most like sought after Air Jordans of this year. I mean, maybe I'm in a very small minority here. As I said, like, maybe heaps of the people that did buy the Air Jordan 1 lows that aren't OG absolutely love them. And good on you. As I said, I'm not here to bash the Air Jordan 1 low. I'm not here to say that these releases that happened in 2019 are terrible. I'm just saying that I think they could have been done better if Jordan Brand decided to do them in OG branding. And I wanted to make this video for a long time saying that, and I thought, you know what, we're gonna make it today. I just wanted to make a video saying that I think a lot of these releases in 2019, a lot of these Air Jordan 1 low releases, they could have been a lot better and sat with a lot more people if they were done in OG branding. And that's just how I feel. Maybe it's my OG or bust attitude where I like sneakers a lot less if they're not done in OG branding like they were when they first released. But I don't know, maybe you guys agree with me. I would love to know how you feel about it in the comment section below. But like, think about it this way. If the University Golds here, if the Mystic Greens, if the Black Toes, where's some other two-tone Air Jordan 1 low releases this year? The Royals, the Royal Toes, the Shadow Backboards, if all, the Court Purples. Yeah, if all of those released in OG branding, would you think that they would sell better than how they did this year if they released as they did if they released them without OG branding? I personally think yes. I think that if those colorways, not specifically just those colorways, but if all these colorways released in an OG branding, I think they would have sat a lot better and sold a lot better in 2019. And that's why I feel this like huge volume. Because as I discussed, I think this is the earliest one that I could find, but there could be other ones that just don't have listings on GOAT. But if all of these releases, because look how many there are. There's so many compared to, you know, here's the end of, where is it? Yeah, no. Wait, I'll just find it. Sorry, I think I've just lost it. There we go. Okay, so the low OG premiums here, they were the last OG release ever of the Air Jordan 1 Low. These were all the 2018 low releases, excluding obviously the 0.1s, but these were all the low releases of 2018, and then it stops here. So there's not a huge volume of 2018 releases here. But then in 2019, Jordan Brand just decided to pump the lows out, and I honestly don't know what the decision was or why that's the case, why the lows suddenly got heaps of love. Maybe it's because they do resemble the dunks a lot, and there has been a huge trend in the past year or so for dunks to be popular again. So maybe Jordan Brand was just trying to capitalize off that and release shoes that looked a lot like the dunk lows. But I don't know what their decision was that they decided to release these in 2019 in this large quantity. But as I've expressed, and as I've tried to showcase in this video, I just think that they would have done a lot better if they were done in OG branding. And I did want to make a video by itself covering that talking point, because that's how I feel. I'm a very OG or bust kind of sneaker guy. I really like my shoes to be as close as possible to the originals, to how they were released. As I said, the colorway doesn't matter to me that much. I mean, I will definitely still buy OG retros that have not an OG colorway, you know, a colorway that was invented in 2019, but the branding is exactly how it was in 1985. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. If the colorway is really nice, I'll definitely do that. But for me, the branding just has to be on point. And especially, I'm sorry, Jordan Brand, this one I do kind of have to beat you up, especially on OG colorways. You really, really do need to release them in an OG branding as well. I think that one's the kind of the spit in the face that I really didn't like in 2019. Like the rest of them, I don't mind too much. I don't mind that they didn't release them in OG branding as much. But when it comes to an OG colorway, like the, oh my god, I just keep losing it all. Where's the black toes again? There we go. If it comes to releasing a OG colorway on an Air Jordan 1, you really just gotta do it in an OG branding format. I don't know, that's just how I feel. That's what this whole video is basically about. It's just how I feel about it, guys. I mean, maybe you'll disagree with me. Maybe you personally think that what I'm saying is a load of crap. I mean, whatever. It all comes down to your personal opinion. Let me know how you feel in that comment section below. But I really do think, just to like summarize it all up, I really do think that from this release here, from this top 3, onwards to all these other 2019 releases here for the Air Jordan 1 Low, I really do think that if not all or most of the colorways here could have actually benefited from an OG branding release instead of this new 2019 trend of releasing all these Air Jordan 1 Lows in non-OG branding. I mean, that's just how I feel, and I wanted to make a video about it, and that's why I've decided to do so. I just wanted to talk about this and see if there was anyone else that's, you know, an Air Jordan 1 collector that also feels the same way. Did that impact your decision to buy any of these lows, that it wasn't OG branding? Did you honestly look at like these Air Jordan 1 Low Royal Toes and not buy them because they weren't OG branding? I want to know your thoughts and opinions, guys. I honestly want to know if you didn't pick up any of these 2019 Air Jordan 1 Lows because they weren't OG branding. I seriously want to have that conversation, because for me, that was a big deciding factor, and it's the reason why I haven't picked up any Air Jordan 1 Lows since 2017, because I really, especially with Air Jordan 1s, really love OG branding. It's just a big thing for me. I mean, as I said, maybe I'm a minority, but either way, let me know how you feel about it. Do you agree with me, guys? Do you agree that the Air Jordan 1 Lows in 2019 have suffered a little bit by not being released in OG branding? How do you feel about that? Did you pick them up anyway? Do you think that I'm just rambling on about crap? Either way, with whatever you've got to say, let me know how you feel about it in that comment section below. Whew. That's all I've really got to say about it, guys. And I kind of just wanted to make a video about it. As I said, I've been wanting to make a video about it for a while now, and it was something very different from what I normally talk about on YouTube. And some people are obviously going to be disagreeing with me, and some people are obviously going to be quite annoyed at me with what I've got to say. But Again, to sum it up, I'm not saying the Air Jordan 1 Low 2019 releases were horrible, should never have happened, and that it was a stupid move by Jordan Brand. What I am saying is that as good as they were, they could have been better if they just did a simple aesthetic change and decided to release them like these bad boys as OGs, as with the Nike Air on the tongue and the Wings logo elevated from here up a little bit. That's all I'm saying. I feel like they really could have benefited. The only release that I see that is a bit of a disappointment in 2019, like the one, is the Black Toes, because that's an OG colorway. That's a colorway that came out in 1985. So to release that colorway on a non-OG Jordan 1, that I kind of have some issues with. I think they should have definitely released that in an OG branding with the OG colorway. That would have been an amazing Jordan 1 Low release for 2019. And yeah, I don't know. That's just how I feel. I honestly, yeah, they should, if they just did more OG Low releases in 2019, so just one OG Low release. Because as we looked at the at what we could see on GOAT, there hasn't been any in 2019. As I said, I may be wrong though. Maybe because I'm viewing it on GOAT, I'm totally incorrect about that. But I again, if you can find me an Air Jordan 1 Low OG release in 2019, I will be grateful, because maybe I'll gravitate towards that one. But I couldn't find any, not on GOAT, so I'm kind of disappointed. Maybe in 2020, by the looks of it, as we saw on GOAT, there looks to be an Air Jordan 1 Low OG release in 2020. So maybe Jordan Brand is now changing it up. Maybe in 2020, they're going to be releasing low OG releases. They seem to be in 2020 changing slightly to be really focused around releasing OG Jordan 1s, in like OG branded Jordan 1s. So maybe it'll happen. Maybe in 2020 it'll be that year. But the fact that we had to wait since 2017 to get that change, it just really showcases what it's like if you have to wait for sneaker releases in the sneaker community. Brands are very reluctant to do it, or just take forever to finally get around to doing it. But I'm hoping that 2020 will change it around. As I said, I just want to make this video to showcase my frustration and to showcase how I felt basically about the 2019 Air Jordan 1 releases and why they were kind of a disappointment for me and how they could have improved. You may disagree with me, and I'm really keen to have that conversation in that comment section below. Let me know how you feel, if you agree, if you disagree, what's your thoughts and opinions. But I just wanted to come out onto YouTube and say, this is how I feel, and this is why I think it's a little bit of a disappointment. But let me know everything you got to say in the comment section below. While you're heading on down there, if you're feeling kind, if I haven't annoyed you, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, guys. I honestly want to do more videos about this, about how I feel about upcoming releases and trends and everything like that to do with sneakers. And if you want to see more of those videos, definitely let me know in that comment section below if you'd like me to see, if you'd like to see me cover more stuff like that. Definitely let me know. That has been how I've felt on the Air Jordan 1 Low OG desert releases, basically the non-existent releases of the Air Jordan 1 Lows in OG branding in 2019, and how I feel about the non-OG releases of the Air Jordan 1 Low in 2019, how they could have improved. So that's all I've got to say. So until the next sneaker video, guys, until the next streetwear video, I'll catch you later.